Okay, so for you, those of you who've joined, thank you. This is one of our first webinars we are putting on. We are planning to roll out and do a few more of these in the future. So thanks for joining. A little introduction to Sharp for those of you who don't know. Very large tech company, predominantly specialising in managed print, visual solutions, and as you can see, we'll be talking you through some of our newer products. And talking a little bit more about the care home sector, which we've been doing quite a bit of business and work with, in recent years. So we're hoping that you'll feel a bit inspired and you'll find what we've got on offer, of interest. And we're going to touch upon how some of this technology can combat some of the challenges that's arisen due to COVID as well. So we'll be touching above those. And like I said earlier, we have a question section there, so any questions you do have, feel free to write those in there and we'll go through those at the end. So we're going to jump straight in now. I'm going to pass you over to Stuart, who's our product specialist on the meetup table. He's going to go through the hardware, the software, and basically give you a bit of a show and tell, if you like, of this product and how potentially your care home could benefit from it. So I'll pass you over.
Cheers, Asher. Thank you. And again, thank you very much for coming on. As Asher said, we're going to be talking through the interactive tables. As you can see, we've got two on display at the moment. We've got the normal table to my left, and in front of me, we've got the Meetup Care On table. Just to give you a quick overview in regards to the table originally started out as a nursery table, which we used to put into lots of different nurseries. The reason being was it's collaborative learning. You could get a lot of different games on there, different entertainment for the children. But we could also do a lot of educational stuff on it as well. And it was more of an interactive board that we could put into the nurseries. As that developed, we got onto different sizes. So we went from the original 22-inch to the 32-inch, and then on to the 40-inch one, which you can see in front of you. So this is the 40-inch meetup table. It's got a solid oak surround on there, which makes it a bit more durable. So when it goes into care homes, it can be knocked, it can be smashed about. It also lets the water drip off it as well, so it is splash proof. It also comes with, as you can see at the bottom where the lights are and the white bucket at the bottom, that is a battery pack. So it's got an 8-hour battery life on there as well, and it's got lifting stilts, so it could be higher or lower, so you can lift it quite high. Goes up to around about 6 foot, but you can drop it down to just over 1 meter when you have it at the table. There's a tilt mechanism on the side, so you can tilt it to 7 different angles. So what that does is give you the freedom to put chairs in, take it into rooms. It also comes on wheels, so you can move it about into different rooms that you want it into. So you can move it away from certain areas and put it into different areas if you want to. You can take it outside in the summer when you're doing stuff in the garden. The wheels lock, so it makes it more steady. And it also comes on an Android base. So what that does is lets you download as many apps as you want to. So you can either do it through Google Play or through Aptoide. You can download the apps as many times as you want or take them away, so you can design the table to what you want it. Now, when we started doing this in the care homes, they wanted it to be something that they could interact with and have groups of people interacting on it. So you can get more than one person on it. It's a multi-touch screen, so it's not just a single touch screen like you'd have on a tablet or a table. And that's one of the things that we always get asked. What's the difference between this and a normal tablet, like an iPad or a Samsung tablet? What I'm going to do is just move it a little bit closer for you, so you can see the actual table. Get it out of the light. And then as you can imagine, I'm just going to bring up one of the apps that we use quite a lot in the care homes, which is like Google Earth. Now, when we spoke to the care homes, they use different tablets for different things, but mainly they use it for reminiscing with a tablet, so they can go to places and see pictures and have a look at where they used to live, where they grew up. As you can imagine, on a 40-inch screen, it does look a lot better than what it would have done on a normal tablet. And it lets the person that's using it have a better visual aid. So if they struggle with their eyesight or they struggle with the viewing, on a 40-inch screen, it gives them a lot more to look at and it makes it a lot more easy for them. And what you can do is you can go to places where they've been on holiday or where they grew up. And when I've done demos, they've loved it, and the reaction that you get from the residents when I normally do a demo and do the Google Earth, it's brilliant because they've never seen anything like it. It's a lot more interactive than a normal tablet. And if you wanted to, you can go right down to where they've been on the street view. So as you can see, it looks a lot better on the table, sorry, than it does do on a tablet. Just let you have a quick look over it. So that's always been good for reminiscing. Now, when we've started taking them into the care homes, we always get asked, how would we know what the residents are using it for? How are we going to collect the data? So we decided to team up with a company called RemiCare, and they developed the Remi app. Now what that does, it's a library-based app, so all your apps get put into here, and you can pick from the library what apps you want to use. It then asks you who's using it, so you can have a list of all your residents on there, and they can pick the resident that's using the app. Then you open the app up. Now it's going to go into the app now, which is a pottery app, which again we normally demonstrate in the care homes. The reason being, it's more sensory-based app. It's also quite a creative app as well. So it lets them use their imagination in regards to what they're doing. And it's a pottery wheel where you can create their own little pots. Just briefly do one for you. So you can imagine it's quite relaxing. It plays relaxing music while you're doing it, so it settles the residents, but it also lets them use something that's a bit more creative. So when you're happy with what you've got, you can then put it into a kiln, as you would do normally. Obviously, this is just a visual one, it's not real. And we can paint it as well. So once you've got your actual pot and it's ready, the app will let you paint it. So again, it makes it a bit more creative. And again, they can use their imagination to do it, and it's hand-eye coordination. And it's very visually stimulating. So once they're happy with the pot, all you have to do is say that you're ready for it. And if you want to, if you're using more than one person doing that, if you're using more than one person using the app, sorry, they can make that somebody else can make the app, and it's also a bit of a competition, so you can see what scores they get by putting it up for auction. But as you can see, you can take pictures of it as well, and then pictures you can take as a screenshot. You can then print them off from your printers, so they have a hard copy of it. But when you leave the app, just leave it now. The RemiCare app will kick in, and it asks what the resident thinks about that app. Now I know you can't see on there because it is a white screen, but it asks you whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you're happy with it or not, and it asks you for feedback on it. And that gets stored in the cloud in regards to what you're doing, and that can be accessed from their friends and family. So residents, friends and family can see what they're doing within the care homes in regards to like entertainment and sensory apps, and it does this with all the apps that we can put onto the table. And it also lets the managers have a look as well of when they're using the apps and what they like and what they don't like. So it keeps a log of what they're doing. Moving on from there, obviously there's lots of different apps you can put onto it, but they always have to like entertainment apps or gaming apps. So there's loads of different games you can put on, like checkers, chess, dominoes, all games that residents will be used to using. So for instance, this is a checkers game. You can play it in 1 player or 2 player. You can have it down sat at the table, so they'll be sat together playing it on a normal board, and you'll never lose any pieces, which is a bonus as well. One of the other apps, if you're doing games or group games, this is one of the ones, probably one of the most popular ones. So if you like doing pub quizzes or any types of quizzes within the care home, you can do ones like this, which is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And because it's on a lift, you can lift it up quite high, and you can tilt it forward, so it's like a screen on the walls. You can have someone reading the questions out, you can have them coming up and pressing the buttons themselves. And all them types of games are on there, or you can add them and take them off as and when you need to or want to. Now, what else we do on there is, like, as I said before or earlier on, it's a 10-point touch screen. So it's good for like the sensory apps that we can put onto it. And there's a few different types of sensory apps. This is just one of them. This is a Magic Touch sensory app. As you can see, using both my hands, wherever I touch, the screen will light up. It's visually stimulated for residents. It's also good for them to touch and make marks, and it's quite relaxing as well and soothing. And that's just one of the sensory apps that we can put on there for you, or you can add it on yourself, whatever you need to. Now, as I mentioned earlier a little bit, we can use the table for group work as well. So when you have a group of residents that sit around, I know previously they used to do, in care homes, used to have some that would have entertainers come in, or they'd have someone come in and do exercises with the residents. With the table, you can use it as a screen, but you can also put on, wait for it to load up, exercise videos. So you can do a full screen exercise video, or you can look at music videos, or you can basically anything on YouTube. You can even use it as a karaoke machine if you wanted to. But one of the other group ones that we put on there is a bingo caller. So we know with a lot of care homes they do a lot of bingo, but with this one, as you can see, it's quite easy to see. It drops a big ball down, it shouts it out quite loudly in regards to the numbers. So the entertainers or the activity staff can be sat with the residents rather than sat at the front of the room. So they can be involved with the residents and getting involved and helping them if they need any help, or just being involved with them rather than sat at the front talking to them. Now, when we first took it in, the tables, which was a couple of years ago, it was slightly different this one, but we used to always get asked in regards to video calling. Now it is something that we can put onto the table. It comes with the table, so you can do like Skype calls from it. And at the moment, it's a lot more needed than what it would have been previously. So you can go onto Skype. I'll just give you a demonstration of what it looks like. So you can do a Skype call from the table, and as you can see, it's quite visually effective. So you can have the residents' family, friends, and you can speak to them on the call from the table, which, as you see on a 40-inch screen, is a lot more visually better than what it would be on a tablet or a mobile phone. And it's one of the biggest aspects at the moment is being in contact and being sociable with your family and friends. So that also helps quite a lot. Now, that's just a brief of what the table can do. There's lots with regards to different things that you can do. So you can do colouring in on it, you can play music games on it, you can do music videos on it, as I said before. There's lots of different sensory apps on there as well. Like these are just some of the apps that we can put on, but there is a lot more. So that's just a brief overview of the table. Now what we're going to do is bring it back in, bring Asher back in, and we're going to go to the questions and see if there's any questions that have been asked at the moment, just so we can answer any of them. Yeah, just give it a second.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, Stuart. So just sort of mirror what Stuart said there, as you can imagine, with this being an Android platform, you have access to the Play Store or your app store. What you guys I imagine you're quite familiar with. So you can imagine the thousands upon thousands of different applications and apps that you could put onto this table. So with our customers that do have these tables, we keep in touch, and any new applications that we found that work really well and that really engage residents, we'll send out and as recommendations to, to really keep in touch with that and keep you guys in the loop with the best applications. And I think one of the good aspects with that, it's not sort of just preset with apps and that's it. There's always new applications coming out which you can download. So it's always going to offer something new for your residents. So what we're going to do now is go down to some of the questions. So we've got a question here. Is it waterproof? Yes. Yeah. So it is splash proof. It's also very tough and hard wearing. So you can tap it. You could hit it relatively hard and it won't shatter. So yeah, it's not fragile at all. So yeah, no, it is splash proof. So very hard wearing.
One of the other ones on there as well is in regards to using it as catch-up TV and stuff like that. So yeah, you can put Netflix on it, you can put BBC iPlayer on it, you can put ITV Player on it. So if residents are looking to catch up on the TV, you can put that on there as well. So you can use it for them purposes. The battery life, another one. So the battery life, you're looking around about 8 hours on battery life. So that means you can have it out throughout the day. You can charge it up overnight as well. So you just have to plug it in to charge at night time, and then in the morning, you've got it all day to play about with and take it into different rooms and use it as and when you want to. Yeah. How heavy is it? That's another one. Do you want to answer
that? Good question. Don't know the weight off the top of my hands. It's well planted, so There's a very low risk of it ever tipping over and potentially injuring a resident. You know, I'm sure we could really give it a proper push and it wouldn't tip over. So it's got quite a bit of weight with it, which I suppose is a good thing. So yeah, just touching upon the battery question that we had then, you can run this plugged in as well. So don't think that once it's ran out, you know, that's it, we've got to wait so many hours for it to charge back up. If you're near a power outlet, it can run as normal with it plugged in. So that is another option as well. So if we got any more questions in there, let me have a look. Is it going to get
pulled over easily?
Is it going to pull over now? So
the way it's built, sorry.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
The way it's built, it won't be pulled over easily. The stilts on the bottom are quite weighed out perfectly, so it won't be pulled. It does weigh quite a lot as well, so the chances of it being pulled over are quite slim. It's very hard, it's very heavy, and it's very robust. So being able to damage it, you've got to be very strong. And I know some residents in care homes can be quite strong as well, but the chance of being able to pull over is quite slim.
We've got a lot of these out in care homes, as you can imagine, and we're yet to have any reports of anyone being able to even damage these, let alone sort of topple them over.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I wouldn't worry too much about that. How long does it take to charge?
8 hours.
So 8 hours to charge again. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry. 8 hours battery life. It takes about 4 to 6 hours to charge full.
Okay.
Full life.
Yeah, brilliant. I think
that's all
the questions. So what we're going to do going forward, anyone who's attended and would like to know a bit more information, as we've said, we've really just skimmed over the surface of what this tablet table can really do.